know those spaces. Donates $277 million to a candidate versus 5 people donating $277 million to a candidate. Elon Musk gave $277 million to Donald Trump and is now, again, worth $400 billion. Is that somehow less establishment in your mind?
So there's two parts of it, Franny. One is they at least talk the populist game, and the advantage of that is that that also spread through the right-wing base. That, hey, them faking populism, remember the people that are hearing that message don't realize it's fake, right? Mm-hmm. So they're talking anti-war, they're talking anti-corporate. You see Tucker Carlson talking anti-corporate. You see Steve Bannon saying we should increase corporate taxes. That doesn't mean Steve Bannon's an angel, but what it does mean, or anywhere near it, but what it does mean is that idea of populism and anti-establishment, et cetera, is spreading throughout the right wing. That is an amazing opportunity for us to actually coalesce on economic populism that they now believe in, even if their leader doesn't, right? So that's point one, and it's super important. Point two is, in some ways, that individual corruption is worse, and in some ways it's better. So how is it worse? So Miriam Adelson gives, 137 million.
Right.
That's a very good point. Interesting point that Jenk said that because Francesca asked a very good question. Elon Musk giving $275 million to the campaign. That sounds like establishment, but Jenk is saying that yes, it does feel like an establishment, and they do work like establishment, but at least they give the tenure of of a populist. So they are fake populists. So because of their fake populism, their message goes into the base, the mega base, make America great again base, and a lot of those people believe that, oh wow, those people are real populists. Trump said that on overtime pay, you're not gonna pay taxes. He said that. So if you work overtime, you're not gonna pay taxes on overtime. He also said that you don't have to pay taxes on tips if you're like a waitress, you know what I'm saying? So when you when you say things that that are kind of sound like populist, the base believe in it. So what that does, that creates some sort of it generates some sort of energy in the base where if Trump decide to ignore those policy, they might scream, they might protest, and the protest does matter. Why? Because there's election. We're in a democracy.
Right.
To Trump, and Sheldon Adelson had given him $200 million in previous campaigns. So he delivers foreign policy to the Adelson family, right?
Right.
Moved our embassy in his first term. Now he's thinking about allowing the annexation of northern Gaza and the West Bank. And you saw me fight tooth and nail against Trump because that's what I was really, really worried about, that he's going to go and be extreme and radical to serve his top donors. On Elon, he handed all of domestic policy to him. So that's how it's worse. How in the world could it be at the same time a little bit better? Well, the way that it's better is that it's not a machine, it's chaotic. So it's one guy here and another person there, but the other person disagrees with Miriam, and then Trump doesn't quite know what to do, and he listens to the last person in the room, but he also kind of listens to his base. We've got chaos there. And chaos is way better than a machine. A machine is ruthless and just steamrolls you.
So I think that's
nothing worse than the McConnell-Biden era. Nothing worse.
Okay, I do want to talk about the McConnell-Biden era and establishment a little bit more, but just on that, I feel like my very first question to you is, well, what are you doing? I feel like that's the most cogent answer I've gotten from you that I could sort of get on board with, which is exploit the chaos to turn MAGA against Trump. But even if you wanted to do that, I'm not sure you're achieving it through the kinds of interviews that you're doing and the way that you're playing to the right, especially when you go on those stages and hit the left more than you do the right. But I just want to leave that there. I accept the hey, let's plant the booby traps so that we can make them fall into them later, that kind of thing. That makes the most sense to me, even if I sort of strategically disagree.